The strides Wade Juracek takes these days are a bit shorter than what they once were.
I was a triple jumper, long jumper, not a marathoner.
Yet now, each step on Juracek's journey takes him one step closer to what he never thought he'd become. Sure, he's done some other races, but over the years he's increased his distance with a vision to conquer one of the most daunting challenges known to man, racing all 6 World Marathon Majors.
There's Super Bowls in New York City, Chicago, and Boston in the United States, and then Berlin, London, and Tokyo overseas right now.
The domestic races have been completed, and the international preparation has now begun. Soon, Juracek will be among tens of thousands of competitors at the Berlin Marathon in Germany. But today, his training is solitary. The track is a place of comfort, even if Juracek's discomfort is below the surface.
I've heard IBD called the invisible disease. You can't tell by looking at me I have Crohn's disease. A lot of people don't like talking about it, but it is what it is with bowel disease.
In the summer before his senior season of high school football, Wade kept experiencing abdominal pain. But he wanted to let his game on the gridiron do the talking, and he didn't say a word about his condition for years.
More afraid to tell anyone what was going on, which looking back would have been a better idea to tell someone initially. Went to the doctor and then pretty much was directed right to the Mayo Clinic, spent a lot of time there.
Wade had to drop out of college at Northern State University and spend what would have been his freshman and sophomore years in Rochester, Minnesota.
It's a long process, bouncing between waiting rooms and hotel room, and especially for a teenager when all your friends are enjoying college. I was initially diagnosed with ulcerative colitis and my whole large intestine removed. I've been re-diagnosed now with Crohn's disease. I've had ongoing problems, and they don't know if I was misdiagnosed or developed Crohn's after having colitis. They're not sure.
Over the last 35 years, Wade's had more than 20 surgeries.
This has been over half my life. I'm 52 now. What was normal for me is not normal for everybody else, and I don't know what normal is for everybody else. Yeah, I've had my share, I think, for a lifetime. Hopefully we're done, but it's a chronic disease, and it's day by day, and I've been doing great for years. Obviously, I wouldn't be able to be doing what I'm doing now.
Wade's condition used to be something he kept to himself. But part of the reason he now trains alone is so others don't have to feel alone.
I saw a sick little girl on the internet on Facebook with Crohn's disease in Mississippi. She was my first inspiration to run the New York City Marathon.
In 2015, Wade completed his run in the Big Apple, raising money for both the girl that inspired him and other charities. And he made sure that all of his preparation paid off come race day.
Took a picture when I got to New York City. There was literally like 3,000 porta potties, and I posted a picture. People with bowel disease would get the picture. It was like heaven to somebody with IBD.
A sense of humor has made things easier for Wade over the years, especially after the hardship of simply acknowledging his condition in the first place. Crohn's may be considered an invisible disease, but Wade's learned how to see the big picture.
A lot of life lessons in sports, and whether it's out on the field or out on the highway running by yourself, there's lots of life lessons to learn.
And joined now by David Brown. All right, Wade is running these Big 6 marathons. He's actually running in one later on this month, right?
Yep, September 25th, the Berlin Marathon. It will be the 4th of the 6 world majors he needs to complete.
He's completed all of them in the United States, and now he has some international ones, right?
Yep, Berlin, and then London and Tokyo, hopefully for him, are next.
All right, and good stories. He gets out of running in these things. What happened when he ran the first time in the New York City Marathon?
Well, believe it or not, he drank too much water. You think, well, how can you possibly do that? But people with Crohn's disease tend to dehydrate quickly. So naturally, of course, he drank a lot of water during the marathon. The problem was he washed all the salt, which is an electrolyte, out of his system. So when he finished, he actually had to eat some salt packets to get his body back to normal. He now carries salt packets with him when he trains and when he runs in these marathons. And so the two things he needs to remember, as he says, where the bathrooms are, and make sure I have enough salt.
Yeah, and you can take breaks along the way if you have
Yep.
to in a marathon, right? All right, and he has a good story about one smaller marathon that he ran in Minnesota. What's that?
Yep, the Med City Marathon in 2021 in Rochester, Minnesota, which of course is the home of the Mayo Clinic. When he got to the finish line, he was actually greeted by a couple of the surgeons who performed a lot of his surgeries he had when he was at the Mayo Clinic. He likes to joke that he grew to hate Rochester because of how often he had to spend time there and how many surgeries he had to have, but he's certainly grateful and appreciative for all that the surgeons have done for him, for all the entire medical team at the Mayo Clinic has done for him, and his ability to now run in these marathons.
All right, thanks a lot, David Brown.
This has been Midco Sports Magazine, presented by Build Your Base with Beef Sports Nutrition and Training Program.